Manchester United have just won 3-0 at Everton to move to within 4 points of the Champions League places. Garnacho with a truly special goal. Rashford then from the penalty spot before Martial got the third. Let's hear from Garnacho now, who's alongside Bruno Fernandes.
Bruno, Alejandro, before we talk about his goal, Bruno, just how big a win was this for Manchester United? Difficult place, Everton in tough times, but you came here, got that result.
No, it's always tough to play against Everton. They're a really good team, very direct, strong. They have good players on the ball, but I think our performance was really good. I think at moments we could play a little bit more in the last 20 minutes of the first half, but we did the job.
Your performance, what about his performance?
So I give him a good note just for the goal, but that's just because he knows I have big expectations for him. He's a great player, he has a great future. He's not a great player yet, but he has a great future ahead. But we expect a lot from him. He knows that even more. Me, he knows I'm going to always be behind him, asking for more. But obviously, amazing goal, not for everyone.
Did you think you'd done it when it left your foot? Could you believe it had gone in?
I can't believe, to be honest. Yes, I did, and I didn't see how I scored. Just I listened the round, and I said, "Oh my God!" But yeah, for me, one of the best goals I scored, of course, and I'm very happy.
It could well be one of the best of this season.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. It's still November, but it's a good goal. Yeah.
It was such a good goal, and I think it just took everybody's breath away. You silenced the crowd.
Yeah, obviously a goal like this has to silence the crowd. I think even for the crowd, obviously Everton fans was not really happy about that, but I think they enjoy it to see these kind of things, and I think it's amazing for the football. Players like him can do this, and we are all proud of him. And obviously, I'm very happy to have him on my side.
You had the opportunity to take the penalty, your second goal. You gave that ball to Marcus. Why did you do that?
Oh, because Marcus, I felt that Marcus needed a little bit of confidence, needed his goal, and as Marcus is an excellent penalty taker too, I'm 100% sure that he could score that penalty. So it's not about to take it; it's about scoring the penalty, and Marcus did it perfectly.
Has his confidence taken a little bit of a hit? A lot of people have been talking about the fact he hasn't scored a lot for Manchester United this season.
No, I think it's obviously, strikers, wingers, they want to score goals, they need to score goals. That's part of their game, and it gives you more as a boost. I think after the penalty, Marcus was unstoppable. He could take on everyone. So I think sometimes you need this chance, this opportunity to get your confidence back. But Marcus is being great for us. Obviously, last season he was amazing, so everyone expectations for this season was higher. So it's just about getting his goals back, and everyone who's still saying that he's world class again.
I know he's waiting for his award, but I just want to ask you about that togetherness, because I think that also showed the togetherness that you have at Manchester United.
I think we have this since the beginning of the season. Obviously, the results didn't show that, and you know that results are really important in football. And in these days, everyone is expecting you to win every game, even more at Man United. So it is what it is. But the togetherness is there. It's about getting the results back.
He's looking at me. He's waiting. Can you just give him his Player of the Match award, Bruno?
I don't think he deserves it, but take it.
Thank you.
For the goal. So you can remember the goal.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, great post-match interview from the pair of them. I love that little comment when he said, great player, maybe not, but good future.
Do you know what?
Just to keep him grounded.
But that's how I think Tim and I, when we came to you, when you did well to start, all the players were trying to keep you down. Not in a bad way, but they just want to keep your feet on the ground. Yeah. I think obviously for Alejandro Garnacho, the kid's a superstar. He's been a superstar since he kind of burst onto the scene. Sometimes he's more impactful when he comes from the bench, but I thought today, that moment, he just changed that whole game. And he has moments for a young man at 19 years old that are quite rare, actually. And he has he does have a superstar aura about him, you'd have to say.
Yeah, you made a great point earlier, Tim. To do it when you're... You're welcome. To make it with barely 3 minutes on the clock, you're barely into the contest.
Well, he's only a young man. I'm probably thinking I'm in my body at the moment, which wouldn't be possible. But at any stage of my career, 3 minutes into the game, it normally takes 10, 15 minutes for you to get into the game, let alone trying something so aerobatic as that. It was an incredible technique as well and timing. The ball was very good from Dalot. Switch of play comes and This pass from Marcus is underestimated as well because he gives him no control problems. Like, a little weighter pass there, he just into his stride. And he just watches it, and now he's made his mind up. You know, he's made his mind up. It's probably 2 seconds in. I'll probably tell you when. Now he's made his mind up. He's going to overhead kick that. And the technique is fantastic. It's just wonderful. I can only dream about scoring goals like that. I like the boy. I think he's got a personality. He's got a certain arrogance about him, which I like, and I think you need to play for Man United. You saw in his celebrations that, you know, the arrogance and the swagger about him. What I think the manager needs to do is stick with these young players, leave them in the team, give them the confidence. Look at the arrogance, look at the swagger of this boy. And I mean it in the nicest possible way. You know, I think he's got star quality to play on a regular basis and make a difference for Manchester United. But the manager has to trust them. Forget the money signings. Forget the guys who are not delivering. It doesn't matter how much you spend on a player. Look at the quality. Look at the boys who want to play for you. Kobbie comes in and is outstanding. Hannibal's played over the last few months, and I think when he's come in the team, he's done well. McTominay, who's an academy player, has pulled the club out of the mire on occasions, but certainly in that, was it the Brentford game, you know, when he comes off the bench. Stick with these boys. Trust them. The academy boys are right under your nose. They care more. Give them the opportunity to play. Yeah, apart from the goal itself, and that'll be the main talking point from many people from that game. What about Garnacho's overall performance? Has he given Ten Hag something to think about? Because I know you like Rashford as a result on the right-hand side.
No, I love Marcus on the left. He's more effective there. But I'm saying for the balance of the team, I think having somebody that's right-footed on the right means that they can cross it. That goal only happens because Marcus holds the width. Dalot's a great pass for the ball. And I just think everything about that, the switch from Lindelof into Marcus into Dalot, that doesn't happen if Anthony's there, because Anthony's going to come inside on his left. So, you know, I think the football, this is kind of the football I think Ten Hag envisions, you know. And I think Dalot is such an underrated player. The timing of that's a City goal, really. You know, the run from it. Dalot's an underrated passer. He knows when he's there, I got to stand that up. Can't cross it or get cut out. Stands it up. And the thing is, if Marcus plays on the right, then Garnacho can play on the left.
Exactly.
You get Bruno playing as a number 10.
There's a better balance about the team.
Bruno played as on the right wing against Manchester City. Don't play him there. Yeah. Put him as a number 10. Garnacho on the left, Marcus on the right. Højlund. Martial looked good through the middle today. Yeah. You know, so I just thought the balance of the team, especially with Kobbie Mainoo at the base of that midfield, you could play that kid the ball at any point in the game. So Harry Maguire looked great. Luke Shaw looked great.
There's plenty of positives.
Everybody looked better. Onana made some saves. So I think there was a lot of positives there.
Yeah, I feel a bit sorry for Marcus playing out on the left-hand side in recent months because he hasn't had Luke Shaw getting around the outside and occupying the right back so he can come inside and bend that ball into the far corner. He hasn't had that, you know, so he's had to fight a lone battle out there. But, I mean, the goal, we just cannot switch off that goal. That is an incredible goal and only Wayne Rooney could score one like it.
It's funny you should say that. It's so reminiscent. I mean, the similarities are quite uncanny. I mean, this is back in February 2011. It's a goal we've all seen.
I'm having this
time and time again. You're having this one, are you?
I'm having this one because he has to check his run, you know, and he gets a deflection on the cross and he just adjusts his position. He watches that right into the top corner. When you see it from behind, look at Wayne's eyes here. Like on the ball, he sees it right in there. And Mika Richards is following him as well. With his eyes, he cannot believe it. And that's the arrogance I'm talking about. That's what you need when you want to play for Man United.
So let's have a look then. At the moment, the ball hits the foot of both these players. I mean, that's extraordinary, isn't it? The timing of the jump, the distance from the goal, almost exactly the same. Actually, I think if you see Garnacho, I think he is going to try and look over his shoulder. Look,
it gets there quicker.
He does get a glimpse.
I think Garnacho's one flies in quicker. I mean, he strikes it better. Wayne's more off the shin, but it's still equally as good.
But he's set the standards now for himself, hasn't he?
I think
not that you can expect that most weeks.
No,
but...
you're not going to expect those moments. You want consistency from young players. That's hard. But I think since he's come to the side, he's produced the goods. And I think that's very rare. It's rare for a young kid to come in and have such an impact on a team like Manchester United. It's difficult. You know, we've seen even that with Phil Foden at Manchester City. No matter how good you are, at this level, it's hard to break into a top team and be consistent. And I think so far, in the short body of work that he's had, I think Garnacho's had a big impact on the side.
Yeah. And, you know, they might not be at top level, Manchester United, as we mentioned already, but they're the form team right now after 6 games.
Well, it's a wonderful knack to have. You know, when you're not playing well and you're picking up points.
But did you think they could sustain that level?
No, I think it's a matter of time then they won't. They have to pick up their level of performances. They have to be where they want to be. They did it last season. They started very slow and they picked up. They ended up picking up a trophy and finishing in the top 4. They would take that again. wouldn't they?
No.
And I just think they need to progress, and I'm not sure they're progressing. Let's face it, Man United are at their best when they're counter-attacking. They're still a counter-attacking side. When Ten Hag came, he said, we're going to control the games, we're going to control tempo. They're not doing that. There's nothing wrong with counter-attacking sides. When you've got people like Marcus, Garnacho's, and the Bruno who sticks in that little sneak position, picks it up, he's got the vision. Martial today, he stretched them in behind. You've got Højlund. They need width. They need the fullback to get forward, like Luke Shaw on the left-hand side. Need the likes of Marcus and Dalot on the right-hand side to deliver crosses. They can break. They're nice and solid. He keeps them nice and solid. They're not losing games. They're not giving anything away. And they're winning football matches, and they're not playing that well.
Well, we've spoken about Marcus Rashford. He did score the second goal, but let's have a look as to the incident that led to the penalty. Now, this is quite interesting because, of course, Ashley Young and Martial come together in the penalty box. The referee, John Brooks, initially gave Martial a yellow for simulation. But then after a VAR review, that was reversed and a penalty was given instead. Right call?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, wrong call initially, especially he's right there and he books him, thinks he dived. I mean, I thought initially it was a foul. Ashley Young just dangles a leg, brings him down. It's definitely not a dive. And I think it's, I think in the end it was an easy decision. Good thing he went over to the monitor, told him to have a look. And they got the spot kick right.
Good use of VAR for you, Tim?
Yeah, very good use. I think Ashley just dangles his leg there and he's entitled to go over it, and that's exactly what he does. But the instigator there, again, Bruno. When they break, where's Bruno? Look at that pass. There, he just rolls it into his path. He knows he just gets one touch through the defender. He knows exactly what he's doing. He dangles his leg. He's entitled to let him hit him. He does. There is contact. He goes down. And is he lucky to get... He's already been booked, Ashley.
Yeah.
No. Youngie could have had a red card there easily. He got one at Anfield. He's fortunate to get away with that one.
Now, that's an interesting one. Ashley Young, should he have got a second yellow for you? Because it wasn't that long ago. Was it Liverpool who got 2 yellows?
Yeah, could have easily. I mean, obviously, Martial got a yellow and he didn't even do anything. I know they rescinded it, but obviously he was brought down. It was a foul, so could have easily been a yellow. A bit more consistency there, I think, would make it a little bit easier as well.
What did you make of Bruno handing Rashford the ball for the penalty?
Yeah, that's good. I mean, listen, whoever scores, I always think sticks to the plan as a manager. So it would be on the board, it'd be written on the changing room door who's taking that penalty.
But Tim, isn't that leadership? Everyone keeps going on about Bruno's not leading, not a captain. Bruno's being a captain.
If Bruno's meant to take that penalty and he gives it to Marcus Rashford and he misses, I'm saying to him after the game, stick to the plan. Yeah. The plan's there for a reason. All smiles now because he scored. And the teammates are all happy. I mean, Marcus kept a straight face there, didn't he? And then he ran over to the Man United fans and he realised, I'm allowed to smile. And we all want to see him smile. Yeah. It's great. I think he plays his best football when he's smiling. He looks like he's enjoying it then. And he actually gave us a little smile when he went over to them United fans.
I think that's nice that he wants to get Marcus Rashford gone. I mean, goal-scoring-wise, they've got 16 goals. That's 11th in the Premier League. 16 goals. They need Marcus firing. Obviously, Højlund, he'll start scoring. He scored in the Champions League. Marcus will start scoring. Martial scored today. Garnacho scored. And I think that Bruno wants to get Marcus firing. I think that's a great thing.
That should help his confidence, right? Well,
that's what being a leader is helping others. Not just about helping yourself, helping others. And I think when Bruno's at the heart of the decision-making United are in a way better place.
Is Bruno high on confidence? I'm not sure he's too high on confidence.
Probably not, but he's older, isn't he, Tim? He's been around. He probably can go through the ebbs and flows better.
Rashford's surely judged more on goals than Fernandes, though.
Yeah, well, I like Fernandes, I really do. I think that he should show more leadership on his performances at times when things aren't going as well. I know he tried to give the young boy Garnacho a little talking to there and teaching him a few lessons, but I want Garnacho to be watching him play and thinking, that's what I want to be, that's how I need to do it. He needs to do it on a regular basis. Because I don't think Bruno, for what he possesses, I don't think he does it on a regular basis enough.
Well, as it happens, Marcus Rashford has scored Manchester United's last 8 penalties. And if he was a welcome goal scorer, so too was Anthony Martial, who's clearly been in and out of this United team, particularly this season. And this will do his confidence the world of good too. In fact, what do you think of his overall game?
Good. I think. Look, everybody knows he's a talented boy, isn't he? No, he's not boy, he's a man. But I mean, watch Bruno Fernandes sit in that little pocket there. That's a hard thing to do. Just stand still, just wait for it. Receive it. Well, perfect pass, weighted ball, and a brilliant finish from Martial. And the thing is with Anthony, you just want to see him be consistent. The talent in there to be a really special player. But the problem is, you think about Garnacho, Marcus, Martial, they all play off the left team, don't they? Yeah. At some point, they're going to need someone to step up and be that centre forward if Højlund doesn't play. But today, Anthony Martial had a good game, but it helps, I think, when you have Bruno Fernandes being at that number 10 and just sliding people in all the time. He's brilliant at it.
So it's 15 points from the last 6 games for Manchester United. United keep their decent run going. Let's get the post-match thoughts of their head coach, Erik Ten Hag.
Erik, first of all, I think everybody is talking about that goal. I know you were in the stands watching it from a distance. Just talk us through it.
Well, season is still long, but probably the goal of the season. But also the build-up. It was not only that finish, but also the build-up was very good, about the switch, about dynamic. So we talk about be brave, be dynamic, be proactive, but clear, the finish is fantastic.
So early on in the match as well, we know it was a difficult time. It is a difficult time for Everton. We knew the crowd were going to be supporting their team so loud and proud, but that just seemed to silence and take everybody's breath away.
I said to you before how we want to play, and in Copenhagen we had the example, and there was another example how this team can play, how you can quieten the crowd, but so make impact on an opponent. So be brave, be proactive, be dynamic. And that is what we showed in the first couple of minutes in the game.
You've spoken a lot about turning points this season. It's such a big week for Manchester United as well. Do you feel you are now turning that corner as a team? The performance improved, especially in the second half.
Yeah, after that start of the game, we were too easygoing, too comfortable. And I criticized the team in the half-time that they think they're already there. No, you can't do it. Game is 95 longer even. I think 2 times 6 minutes extra time. So you have to bring it in 100 minutes on the pitch, initiative, in and out of possession, everyone. And second half they did very well. And then we had the highest score this season.
Yes, I think it's the highest, isn't it, by more than a single goal this season, this win for Manchester United. So that just goes to show the improved performance that you're getting there.
And also our 3 offensive players scored. And that is very good. That is what we need, that they going and to score and to net, because that will help us as a team. And I said, we need that to get into the season, to be successful. Absolutely, that will give them confidence, and we have to take this into our next game.
I spoke to Bruno about the penalty, him giving the ball to Marcus Rashford. You talk about giving confidence. How much confidence will that give Marcus?
A lot. But you see also how great Captain Bruno is. Feel, assess that your teammate, he need that goal. And have the confidence, take that penalty, because Bruno will net definitely sure. But also he has the confidence in Rashie. He's a very good penalty taker. Take that ball, take your confidence. And as a team you need that. You need such leadership, and that you back each other, you cover each other, and you give each other confidence, because you know you need it to get a successful season.
And how much does this do, this win for this week that you've got coming up? It's such a big week for you.
Absolutely, but we have to go step by step, and this is all one step, so get ready for the next.
Thank you so much for your time, Erik.
You're welcome.
Yeah, they spoke there of a really tough week for Manchester United. They've got Galatasaray in the heat of Istanbul, of course, and they've got it all to do in the Champions League group phase if they're to try and qualify to the knockout round. But then they've got Newcastle away. That's at St James's Park. So 3 tough away games. The first negotiated pretty well in the end.
Yeah, I thought they didn't create a ton of moments in the game, but they were efficient, they were clinical. And obviously, we've said before, goal scoring is an issue for this United team.
Yeah.
And they need to tidy it up. Defensively, they're pretty sound, and they look 10 times better when Luke Shaw was playing, by the way. He was exceptional today. Onana was good. Seems like there was a partnership there with Maguire and Lindelof. Thought Dalot played great. So, but goal scoring, that's the one they need to fix. And it's going to be a huge week. Galatasaray away, that is, it doesn't get much harder than that.
Doesn't get much more hostile either.
No, it's tough. And
if they sample that kind of atmosphere, albeit for 2.5 minutes, I suppose it's the perfect warm-up for something quite like that, although it's on another scale altogether. Yeah,
but look, they have players that can rise to the occasion in big moments, and obviously someone's going to have to do it. Garnacho did it today. Bruno Fernandes did it today. Let's see who can do it in Istanbul.
Interestingly, because of Garnacho's goal and the nature of it, it takes the attention away from the debut from 18-year-old or the first Premier League debut for Kobbie Mainoo. I have to say, He didn't look like an 18-year-old out there.
Very mature performance. I thought he picked the right options at the right time. I talk about self-indulgence. He wasn't out there to try and prove to everyone that he's a superstar. He just does what he's good at. You know, he gets turned on the ball. He looks very comfortable. Look at him there, just reading reaction. But it's not only just the clearance. He has to lift that to get it over the striker. There he changes pace and he gets a block in. Willing to put his body on the line for the shirt. Look, gets turned, wants to play progressively forward, picks the right pass at the right time. I think he was excellent, Owen.
Yeah, I thought he was. I'll be honest, I thought he was Man United's best player. And the thing is, every clip's different. You know, this is good. You know, receiving it. A lot of young kids in there, 18, they wouldn't have the composure. Tim's right, pick the right pass at the right time. That's one of the things you need when you're a young kid breaking through. And he's got some confidence as well. How about this little touch here? Oh, little nutmeg. Yeah. See you later. You know, the kid has. I like that every clip's different. He can do everything that you need to. Yeah. And even here, you know, you got the back four in place. Lindelhof gets dragged out. What does he know? I got to drop in there. That space is free. I got to drop in there. You know, there's a lot of more experienced players that wouldn't even do that in that moment. And that's why having responsibility in the moment, he looks like he has an awareness to him for an 18-year-old that you wouldn't normally see.
Yeah, a telltale sign is how you perceived and treated by the rest of your teammates. I mean, when he's come off the pitch there for, 58 minutes? He had the most touches from any player of Man United on the pitch, or anyone on the pitch. So he was involved all the time, and they want to give him the ball. They trust him. See Onana rolling the ball out to him on the edge of the box. You don't do that if you don't trust the individual. He's seen him in training and he knows he's a real deal. He needs to continue playing. But what happened is what's happened before. I hope it doesn't. Casemiro gets back fit. He throws him straight into the team. He leaves this boy on the sideline again. Cannot do that. Don't pick the superstars because they're superstars. Pick them because they are on merit. This boy deserves the opportunity.
One of many positives then, as far as Manchester United and Erik ten Hag are concerned. So a day to forget then for Everton as they remain in the bottom three after a 3-0 home defeat to Manchester United. Here's head coach Sean Dyche.
Sean, watching you in the technical area, how much went against you and your team today?
Well, I think a lot of the performance was right. I think particularly first half, they get more or less a career goal. Great finish, changed the feel of the early part of the game, and then we got a grip of it. Created chances, couldn't take them. Chance counts high again today, which is pleasing, but obviously, you know, for a side that people are saying they're not playing well, they're at the top of the form guide, so we know we had to be aware of that. And they get a win out of, strangely, a pretty decent performance from our point of view, I feel.
The penalty did seem to change things around. As you say, you responded well after the first goal. The encouraging signs were there. But you couldn't help but notice how you reacted to it, albeit Ashley Young did put his foot out.
Oh, it's bizarre. There's no point. I feel for fans. They run up to that screen. What do you think's going to happen? We all know what's going to happen. I don't see the point of it. It's bizarre to me. Just go on and give the decision if they think it's a decision. The way the game's going, they give them. I mean, that's bizarre to me. You know, he's never going to get it. He knows what he's doing. Players do. That's the way it goes. And, you know, it's one of them things. I mean, the VAR thing this year, and I'm a big fan, it's been all over the place. I can't work out why it's the simplest thing, you know. But it just seems to be mayhem all the time.
Did you feel that was a turning point, though? It just seemed to change the whole atmosphere inside the ground. I know there's that siege mentality that we spoke about before the match, but it seems it just took that away.
Yeah, but that's the way it goes. You know, you're 2-0 down all of a sudden, you know, out of a nothing moment. One that you think's gone for you, don't forget, as a crowd. You know, because he books the lad for diving and then comes back and looks at it for 3 minutes to make a decision. Look, it's not just about that, but that doesn't help, of course. You know, you're 1-0 down to a worldie, you haven't taken your chances, they get a penalty, and it's 2-0. It's really tough then. The mentality was good. We kept knocking on the door, we kept trying to create chances, we kept trying to score goals, so I'm really pleased with the mentality. After what's been a really tough 10 days, of course. Is
it just about finishing those chances? Because if you'd been more clinical in front of goal, the scoreline could well have been completely different.
Yeah, at home more than away, that's been the case this season. We've created lots of chances, not scored goals, but we have to maintain the belief in what we're doing. I think we are doing that. I think the players did throughout this game. You know, kept playing hard to the final whistle, because that mentality is going to serve us well over the season.
You talk about the mentality. Is it just about remaining calm, remaining confident despite everything that you're competing against at the moment?
Well, of course, because at the end of the day, you know, 10 points taken away from anyone in the season this early in the season changes the whole view of it. But we've got to stick with our performance level, stick with our belief in what we do on the training pitch and in the games until the appeal process goes through. Until that time, we have to just maintain standards, we have to keep working, and we have to push away all the noise, because there will be plenty of it, not just from our parts, but from everyone in football. I think everyone's scratching their head about what it's all amounted to, but we've got to get on with it.
Sean, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, Sean Dyche will face every challenge head on. He's not going to shirk anything like that. And you can almost get that from the tone of his voice. The next 6 Premier League fixtures look like that. The Forest game, I mean, that looks huge now. That's away. Newcastle at home, Chelsea, Burnley, Tottenham and Manchester City. The Burnley one, considering they're the only team below Everton in the table right now. Now, I asked both of you if you were worried for Everton at the start of the day, before we saw Everton today, and you said not. Have you changed your view on that now, Tim?
No, over the period of the season, I think they're going to be okay. I think they're going to need to pick up some points, and it has brought them back to the field, obviously. You know, they're in the danger zone at the moment. They're going to need to win at least 2 of them games. They look like tough games. Nottingham Forest, you say, and Burnley. You know, Forest, precarious. They're dropping in there as well. Bournemouth, I think, is another team who could get dragged in. Other than that, I don't think there's anyone else to drag in. They got a small division of. They got to go up against 6 teams, and they got to make sure that they get above 3 of them. That's what they got to do. That's the same objective that they had at the beginning of the season. Forget what's gone on. It's the same objective. That's what they got to do. Clear their minds. Don't feel sorry for yourselves. Go out there and win enough points to stay in the division. I still think they've got the quality. They've got the squad of players to be able to do that. This is a hiccup today. I thought their performances today wasn't bad. Certainly in the first half, I thought they created enough chances to be going ahead of Man United today. Yeah, it was, like he said, it was a career goal.
To put that in perspective, actually, today, Everton had 24 shots to United's 9.
Yeah.
So was it just the clinical edge that was missing for them then?
Yeah, and the one thing I would say is they have probably the best goalkeeper down in those bottom 5 teams. They've probably got, you know, the best striker. They've got the most talented midfield players in there. You know, in terms of every position, they got better players in their position, and they created it. You think about McNeil on one side, you know, Harrison on the other. Ducour's a handful in the games there. Often these moments, they can go your way, they fall your way. But Tim mentioned before, they've got bodies in the box. You know, get crosses in for Calvert-Lewin. But they're a threat. You know, when they play like this, more often than not, they're going to win games. I think possession-wise, it was almost 50-50. This one, Gate, he's got to score. I think he's leaning back. I think that's quite an easy one. But I think overall, I think Sean will be right. Yeah. They played pretty well today. It wasn't really a 3-0 game. It was a worldie from Garnacho, a penalty, and then one on the counter-attack from Anthony Martial. So I thought they played all right, but the problem is there's a little gap now created from where they are and just above them. But the one thing I think in his favour, they have a clear identity, and they've probably got the most talented group of players down in that bottom 5. Yeah. And I think eventually they will be all right.
And the best fans.
Yeah, true.
Home advantage is going to be crucial for them. And they've got a manager who's been there and done it and seen it and knows what it takes to keep a team in the division, and he will keep them calm. They'll dust themselves down. They'll be ready to go in the next game.
Yeah. You talk about home advantage. They've lost 11 of 18 in 2023 at Goodison Park. How much of a concern is that, if that is to be the bedrock of any team to stay up?
The thing is, over recent years, they've needed to win points really late on in the season, last month.
Well, last day of the season.
And it's happened at Goodison because it's almost desperation. Some of the scenes, what we've seen when they've stayed up, is almost embarrassing for the size of a club like Everton, but it's the desperation and it's the relief of actually staying in the division. No one wants to leave this division. It's difficult to come back. And I think the crowd realised that, and I think they realised that early now, especially with the points deduction. And I think they will get behind them earlier than what they usually do. It's going to be a fight right to the end. They know that. It's not going to be plain sailing. I mentioned at the top of the show that it might have got a little bit comfortable for them. Not anymore. They've been dragged back to the group. They're in the danger zone at the moment. But I believe, like Owen said, they've got the quality, they've got the manager, they've got the experience to get themselves out of it. Because on paper, against them, I know games are not won on paper, but against them other teams who are down there, they've got far more quality.
Talking of fight, do they have the right kind of fighter in Sean Dyche to see them through this?
Oh, definitely.
Is he the right kind of guy?
Oh, he's the perfect guy.
Yeah.
You know, he'll kind of create that siege mentality. And I think as well, you know, you mentioned normally at home you'd expect them to be better, especially at Goodison. But actually, I think when they have to make the game, it doesn't really suit them. Even today, possession-wise, that was almost 50-50. That's not their strength. They're better off playing against, you know, having 25% possession, 30% possession, and breaking beyond the counter. So I think in those next 6 games, they won't have much of the ball like they did today, but they just need to be a little bit more efficient, effective in front of goal, and I think they'll be fine.
Yeah. It's just a question of not letting that deflate them too much today, right?
No, I think he's experienced enough to realise that. He's been at Burnley, he's fought, right down at the bottom of the division late on in the season many times, and he knows if you take defeat too hard, you take it into the next game, that's no good to anyone. You need to dust yourself down, you need to start afresh and hopefully win as many games as you possibly can. Draws don't take, when you're adrift like they are now, draws take you nowhere. It's better than a loss, of course it is. But you go out, you identify the games what you can actually win, and there is games what you look. I've been there myself. You look at the games coming up and you think, well, that could be 3 points. We might play a little tweak there, a little different, more attacking in that game and then more defensive in another one. So you have to pan your way through it. But I think, I believe they've got the quality to stay in the division.
OK, well, let's get some more reaction now, shall we, after Everton's defeat to Manchester United. Let's hear from their club captain, James Tarkowski.
James, that's a pretty frustrating afternoon for you.
Yeah, it is. I think there's positives to take. Especially first half, played really well. They've scored one of the best goals I've ever seen, especially when I've been on the pitch. And then we dominated, pressed really well, turned the team who want to play football into kicking it long and taking it off and then going attacking again. And we had 4 or 5 great chances and just didn't put it in the back of the net. And then second half, penalty just kills the game. And I haven't seen it back. It felt soft at the time, but here we go again. Something goes against us, so we just get back into the training ground, ready to go again.
It does feel like you're against everybody at the moment.
It does feel like that, yeah, but that's how we're going to take it. So either with us or against us. So back in tomorrow, ready to go again and build for the weekend ahead.
What signs of encouragement? Because after going behind so early on, and as you say, it was an absolutely worldie of a goal. You had chances. It's just that finishing, that lacking that clinical touch.
Yeah, and we have been very clinical, especially over the last few weeks. We've scored a lot of goals, so it's one of them days. But performance levels and intensity and mentality were all there for us, so there's plenty of pleasing aspects. Obviously, we want results as the most important thing, but there is positive to take, and I say we just get back in tomorrow and ready to go.
He talked about the need to fight and not to get too dispirited. And if you put into context the fact that they won 4 of the last 7 in the Premier League, they have to look on the positive side. That form is just round the corner before today. And if it wasn't without those points already on the board, they would be in a very much more difficult position right now.
I thought he spoke well, Tarkowski. I thought he kind of analysed the game really well. They had some great chances in the first half to score. Yeah. So I think there were a lot of positives to take out. Sometimes when you play a game, you think we lost 3-0, we were dreadful.
Because do you think that flattered United in the end?
Tiny bit, but the goals just came at the right time, and I think they were quite efficient. I think for Everton, that's one thing they were. They weren't efficient in front of goals. So I think when they get those chances again, I think they'll take them and they'll be in a better position.
Tim, and as we approach the festive fixture schedule, which, as we know, is always kind of non-stop, is that a good thing for Everton?
It's a good thing.
Have game after game?
I'll tell you why it's a good thing, because they've hardly picked up any injuries. They haven't picked up any today as well. I think that a lot of teams you see around this time, you've seen depleted squads all over the Premier League. Not with them. They've kept themselves fit. So they're going to need everything they've got. Everyone's going to have to play a part. And I think if you can get a win, you need to get the first one straight away, and that gives you the confidence to bounce into the next one. The games come thick and fast. All of a sudden there's like 12 points to play for. You need to have taken 6. If you're in that position, you can, by the end of by New Year, and you could be out of the danger zone if the results go for you. You got to watch other people's results when you're down there. You always do. Yeah. Don't listen to managers who say we take care of ourselves. Listen, they're looking at Luton, they're looking at Burnley.
They will be looking at the others, right?
Absolutely, you're looking at them. You live their games. That's what you do. As a manager, yes, you take care of your own. You try and pick up as many points as you can, but then you go home and you lose as much weight. I could do with doing it now. Watching the opposition, the nerves, you're on edge because you want the opposition to lose, and it saves you a job. But it's going to go right to the wire. But it's really exciting. All ends of this division is brilliant.
OK, let's get some more reaction on the fallout of Manchester United's 3-0 win away to Everton. Delighted to stay pitch side at Goodison. Fullback Diago Dalot joins us now. Diego, great to see you. Many congratulations on the victory. Biggest away league win for United for over 2 years.
Yeah, obviously. I mean, I think the performance shows the good level that we showed today. We knew coming to this ground is always tough, always physical, and I think we showed that we could do a little bit of both, being aggressive, winning duels, defending the box, defending the goal, and then play football. I think we could do both, and we showed today that we could do a good performance.
And how does it feel to deliver the assist to arguably the best goal of the season so far?
I mean, of the season and probably of many seasons. I told in the dressing room, I'm just watching now on the TV. Live, I didn't see a goal like this ever in my career so far. I mean, you could see a lot of good goals in the television when you were a kid, but this was probably one of the best that I've seen. It's unbelievable how the way they finish is, and it was a top goal and good to be a part of it.
We've been debating here in the studio how it rates alongside Wayne Rooney's overhead kick. You know which one I'm talking about against City in the derby.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. That's probably one of the best goals that for me, my personal opinion, that I like the most since in the history of Man United. So it will compete with this one, and I'll leave Garnacho's one just because I was on the pitch.
There's no surprises there. I mean, does he do that kind of thing in training?
Yeah, to be honest, yesterday we were training, or they were training the forwards with Benny McCarthy, and he was complaining about Garnacho. He doesn't head the ball. Back post, you never head the ball. You just want to do bicycle kicks. Today show him that he can do it, and it was fantastic for him.
How good can he be, do you think?
I mean, if he keeps his head and feet on the ground, I think he can be decisive for this club. He has a great talent. We will be here to make sure that he doesn't go over the moon with this goal. But he's a hard-working kid, very talented, and you need this type of players in this team. So can they can solve games, they can solve can give you trophies, and this is the type of players and that we need sometimes.
Yeah, well, the whole team played obviously really well. Luke Shaw looked great since he came back. I thought Kobbie Mainoo was fantastic in that midfield, but it looked like you and Marcus Rashford had a nice partnership kind of on that right-hand side. It looks like Marcus gives the team good balance when he plays on the right, because obviously you guys have a good understanding, it looks like, when you play together. Yeah,
to be honest, I have to give credit to Rashi. He did a hell of a job today. I mean, it's I know sometimes for a winger you don't like to defend fullbacks, you don't like to track back, you just want to go forward, but he shows that he's a complete player, and today the goal is just a little reward of the work that he's been doing. Sometimes when forwards don't score goals, the expectation starts to get really high, the pressure starts to get really high, but he does a lot of things that probably people don't see going forward. I just give him credit today because he showed that he can do both and sacrifice sometimes for the team, and there is times that means a little bit more than just scoring goals.
Diego, they got two threats on both flanks. If you was defending one of them, which one would you like to defend, Garnacho or Rashford?
I mean, in training, I get the opportunity to defend a lot. To be honest, I think Rashi is a little bit more power than Garner, but Garner is a little bit more unpredictable. So I would prefer to have them on my team.
Yeah, you got him.
And just finally from us, I mean, that's the perfect result at the start of what is a huge week for the football club, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think this sounds a little bit cliche, but every game for this club is like the game of the season. Everybody is expecting the best from us, and when you don't get the results, the pressure will get higher and higher and higher. I mean, Hargreaves played here. He knows that better than anyone that this is the type of standard that the club has. So we just have to keep believing that the results will come, and then the results will give us confidence to play better football. And I know it's coming. I like to believe that this is a marathon, not a sprint. So hopefully this consistency can improve, and the results will get there, and the football as well.
Well, good luck with the rest of the week, and well done today, Diego.
Thank you very much, mate.
Good luck.
Brilliant.
Thank you.
Diago Dalot joining us live from Goodison Park. I mean, that's interesting, that partnership between him and Marcus Rashford. It could well have given Erik Ten Hag something to think about.
No, I think it will have. And first of all, credit to him, by the way. What a great talker.
Brilliant.
Brilliant. Really says all the right things. And even speaking about he knows Marcus probably didn't want to track back, but it helped him do his job a little bit easier. He knows about the history of the club. He knows that they can play better. So, and that's what it needs. It needs everybody to be accountable for their position. Luke Shaw's in there. Harry Maguire's in there. Onana's playing better. it just feels like it's starting to come together, and they're going to start playing better. They're not playing that great, but they're finding a way to get results. And I think obviously you get Martinez back, you get Casemiro back, and you get Højlund back. Figure out what happens with the whole Sancho situation. There's a lot of good pieces of the puzzle for United, and I think they're going to start playing better. And I really loved his interview. I think he spoke brilliantly.
OK, so that's the second of today's two games, of course, that have been played out in the Premier League.